You might need to, hello, everybody. Hold on, my microphone might not be on. Built-in microphone, it should be on. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Yeah? Can you hear it, Aaron? Hello. All right, good. Hello, everybody. My name is John, and welcome to the very first ever. This is the inaugural maiden voyage of the live stream spoken word request concert. It's backwards for me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited that you all are here. We're going to get started in like 1 minute. But first thing I need to do, I need everyone to grab their phones, or if you're on your computer or something, I want you to go on Snapchat, Twitter, or Facebook, and I want you to share the link to this concert. It's right up at the top. You just share the link, so we can get more people watching, because we want to see more people. You know what I'm saying? I'm so excited you all are here. I'm going to do a quick snap, and then we're gonna get going. We're gonna get going. Okay. Oh, it's so bright. Hey y'all, we're live right now. Literally, look. Come check it out. Okay, I'm gonna post this, and then we're in. All right, let's do this. Well, as I said, if you don't know my name, I'm not sure how you found your way here, but I'm excited you are. My name is John. I'm so happy you all have joined us to watch for this spoken word request concert. I have my cheat sheet here. I'll be your host and spoken word artist for the evening. Sweet Bear's over there. She is the producer.
Hey guys!
I don't know if you could hear her or not. Anyway, let's start first with some intro, like we did. I'm John. She's Sweet Bear. You're you, and awesome. Also, some thank yous. First and foremost, I have to thank all of you for showing up, and all of you who donated to make this concert happen. This was my very first challenge. Challenge is this new sort of platform where you can kind of raise money for your project, but at the same time you can produce different challenges for your friends and fans and community. And that's exactly what this concert is. It was my very first challenge, so thank you to Challenge. They're an amazing, amazing new kind of startup website. Really, really cool. You should check them out. That's Challenge with no E. And then everyone who gave. We raised almost $1,000 for the channel, which, I mean, I don't know if you all understand exactly how YouTube economics and stuff like that work. We don't make a lot of money for this channel just from producing videos. We barely make any. So that $1,000 that we raised, it's going to be used so well to make just better and better videos that I hope will be encouraging and entertaining for all of you. So thank you so much if you supported this project financially. It really does mean the world to me. That you would believe in me enough to give and to trust me with those finances. I promise I will not let you down. Also, I want to thank you if you showed up, because you're awesome for coming to watch. I hope that we get to interact a little bit. I hope that I can do some spoken word. Those are my intros. Those are my thank yous. Thank you to Sweet Bear for being beautiful and amazing. I love you. All right, here are the rules. All right. 1, for requests. I'm going to be taking requests from all of you on any spoken word that is currently on the YouTube channel, okay? None like, hey, do a spoken word about this. I'm not going to be making them up on the spot. Maybe Sweet Bear's actually really good at improvised spoken words. Maybe I'll get her up here to do it, okay? So only things that are on the channel for right now. Also, I'll be taking requests from those who have made that $50 dedication, $50 and above first, because they purchased and are able to get the right to make sure that their spoken words are gotten in, their requests. So I'm going to do all of the dedications first, okay? And don't worry, if you're one of those people, I have you all in an order. I got it together. Don't worry about it. Okay. Second, then after I get through everyone who made a dedication, then the rest of us, we're going to have a big time at the end where it's just going to be like rapid fire, rapid fire. Cool? Cool. All right. Guests. So we have a few special guests this evening. These are people who have poems of their own. I'm going to be bringing you all on one by one. You all know your rules. As far as you who are watching these guests, there's a couple things I want you to remember. Be respectful. Be supportive. and love on them and love on them. It is a vulnerable, scary thing, even online, to kind of get up and to share your work. These people are going to be sharing their hearts, and they don't want you tearing them apart. You know what I'm saying? Look at me, I'm rhyming already. Anyway, so yeah, just be respectful, be supportive, and be loving. You all are amazing, so I know you all will. All right. Last but not least, we will be taking questions. Sweet Bear is over there. She's watching the live stream on our desktop, and she's going to be fielding your questions. After every time I do a spoken word, I will answer a question. Sweet Bear is going to choose one. She's going to ask me, and I'm going to answer it for all of you. Before we start, I want to see, before we officially start, I want to see if I can get any, like, I don't know where I can see the chat. Is there a chat on yours, Eric?
Yeah, it's to the right.
But it's not on mine. I'm looking at the viewers.
Oh, there should be chat next to the viewers.
Yeah, there's not. Oh, hold on. Maybe if I just exit out. Yes! Okay, so just to do a quick interaction with you all, I want you to type in the chat where you're watching from. Okay? I already see Claire G's in there, Eric's in there, Andrew's in there, Emily's in there. Type in the chat, where are you watching from? Knoxville, Tennessee. What's up, Richard? Mallory, how are you, Mal? New York City in the house. Anchorage, Alaska. MK, that's what's up. Farmville, hi, Andrew. Buffalo, Montano, Chicago, New Palestine, Indiana. That's so biblical, Carl. That's what's up. Yes! Julia! You're from Germany! You're here! Praise God for Germany. Jamaica. That's what's up. Did I miss that one?
It's in the
Oh, in the requests at the bottom. Dubuque, Iowa. Hi, Hannah. How are you? Eric, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is what's up. That's awesome. Oh, Andrea, how are you? Another one from Philip from Germany. Awesome. I'm so happy you all are here. I'm too excited. Let's just do this, yeah? All right. So, our first request will come from Selena Benedetto. Selena Benedetto, are you here? If you are, type either in the chat or below what spoken word you would like to hear. And once we have your suggestion, I'll give you about 15 seconds to make your suggestion. If you're not here yet, don't worry. We'll move on to someone else and we'll come back to you. But Selena Benedetto, are you here? Make your suggestion. What spoken word do you want to hear? Let's see. Is Selena here? Selena, are you here? Oh, what a rough way to start off the night if she's not, huh? Selena, I'm going to give you like 10 more seconds. If I don't see anything from you, we'll move on to whoever is next. All right, we're going to move on. Selena, if you end up hopping on, hopefully we get you by the end. We're going to move on. Next one is Mikhaili Steven or Stefan, which I think you prefer MK since that's your name on here, and I know you're here. MK, you can give our first request. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it so much. MK, what spoken word do you want to hear? Hook me up. Either in the chat or down below. Did you already say something? I think you did.
Oh, yes.
You want to do I Am Awesome. Who you are, a message to all women. What a great one to start with, since those of you who are true fans of the channel know that this was the first video we ever did. All right, let me pull it up, because I don't have all these memorized. I have some of them. This one's like 90%, but, you know, just in case. All right, here we go. There's a lot of debate. This is actually entitled, Who You Are, a Message to All Women. But you can call it whatever you want, as long as it encourages you. Here we go. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are kind. You are unique. You are worthy of love and affection. You are never too much, and you are always enough. You are precious. You are a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creations. You are worth more than you could ever imagine. Worth more than the numbers on the scale, or the hair product you use, or the shoes you wear. More than how many girls wish they were you, or how many guys wish they had you. More than the price tags on your clothes, or the percentage at the top of your math test, or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things, because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved, and you are worth dying for. Regardless of who you think you are, whether you model in a magazine or model pottery with grandma, whether you're on the hot list or the not list, whether you're head cheerleader or a high school dropout, whether you're Miss Popular or you've never had anyone in your life that you could call a friend. Whether you love yourself and love your life, or you can't stand to look in the mirror because you feel everything in your life is falling apart. Whether you feel like such a winner or the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you think you are, the reality is that you deserve someone who would give up their life for you, because you are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible. Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever. And inside of you, each and every one of you is a woman with that same power and that same strength and that same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and to set that woman free. This is who you are. And any voices in your head that are trying to tell you differently are from the enemy. And the next time you hear them, this is what you say. You say, "Nuh-uh. Not me, Satan. I am a daughter of the living God, cherished, loved, and adored above all things by the Creator of all things, for the glory of Him who is greater than all things." And everybody say it with me from your computers. I am awesome. And please, don't you forget it. Thank you, everybody. That one goes out to MK. Thank you so much, MK. Woo! That's a big one to start on. Let's take a question.
I don't have any yet.
No one's asked a question?
No, I was trying to say, ask your questions, but it won't let me post in the chat.
If you have questions, post them either in the chat or below. We are going to
No,
ask.
it's working.
Oh.
It says I'm John, but it's really
Me in the chat is actually Sweet Bear. You got it, Sherry. Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in from Syracuse. What questions do you have? And these can be, I mean, obviously, if they're a question about spoken word, that would be great. But if they're about something else, we're going to roll with it. Great. I think can we take MK's question?
Yeah.
She just put one.
What inspired you to write that first spoken word?
Awesome. So MK asked, what inspired you to write that first spoken word? And we can take questions from anyone. She just kind of was the first one, and she happened to request it. So I grew up going to and working at a summer camp, and this was a Christian overnight summer camp. And every Wednesday night at that camp is called Purity Night, or abstinence, or a lot of students just call it the sex talk. And I remember as I was growing up at camp, every time that we would have that talk, for me, it always seemed to be based so much in the physical. Like, how far is too far to go with your boyfriend or girlfriend? You know, what constitutes sex? It was so based in the physical. And when I was asked back as a counselor to write kind of a devotion or a small group curriculum for that night, I started praying, and I started to realize the idea of purity or having a pure heart, it's so much more than what you do with your actions. But actually, purity, it's a thing that starts in the heart. And I was kind of praying one day, and I was sitting on my couch, and I thought, you know what? I think the reason that we're so quick to give ourselves away physically or emotionally is because we don't understand how much we're worth. Christ died for us. He gave everything for us because we are worth that much to Him. That's how much He loves us. And I thought, if these campers, if these students could know how much they're worth, it would fundamentally change the way they interacted in this world. That was kind of the idea of it. So I sat down and I said, God, who are these students in your eyes? And I wrote the two pieces in like 15 minutes, and I've never changed the words once. That's kind of the story. That's what sort of inspired me. It was in the hope of showing people how much they're worth in God's eyes. That's it. Thanks for your question, MK. All right. We're going to move on, and we're going to get right to it. We're going to get to our first guest poet. I haven't talked to this person, so I don't know if they're actually planning on performing tonight. But Cynthia Giles, are you here? Cynthia, are you here? In the chat, tell me you're here. Well, I can actually see if you're waiting to be on camera or not. Oh, how do I see the viewers again? Okay. No, Shonda is. Cynthia, are you here? I don't see you. Did she say anything in the chat, Air? No. Okay. All right, Cynthia, we will wait. Shonda Heilman. Since you are waiting, I'm going to try and bring Shonda in right now. Shonda has a poem for us. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring you on screen. There she is. All right, let's see if I can put her on. I hope this works.
Hey.
Shonda, hello.
Hi, it's Shanda.
Shanda, sorry, Shanda. I apologize. I'm the worst. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Well, can everyone hear her? Put in the
Hello?
chat if you can hear her. Because I can hear her. Oh no, I lost you a little bit. Hold on, Shanda. We're just going to make sure that everyone can hear
All right.
you. And then yep, okay. I think looks like everyone can hear you. All right, Shanda, the floor is yours. Introduce yourself, tell us the title of your poem, and then go for it.
All right. I am Shanda Heilman with Live Art, and my piece is called Find. God, I thought we were friends, you and me and you. I thought I knew who you were. I thought I knew who you and me, were. We were us, until that one day it felt like
Oh no, we lost her. Technology! All right, we're going to get her back, though. We're going to get her back. We're going to get her back. We got you, Shanda. Don't worry. All right, let's go back. All right, we're going to do our best to get Shanda back. I don't know why we lost her. All right, Sweet Bear, will you watch and see if she comes back?
Yeah.
Shanda, if you can still hear us or whatnot, will you just put in the chat or down below that you're still here and you're ready to come back on? I'm sorry it didn't work. I'm not sure why. But I promise you, we're gonna get that poem done if it kills me. All right, let's do another request. Let's do another request, kind of while we wait for her. Let's move on. Philip. Westfall. Philip, I know you're here. What is your request? Have you put one down there yet? All right. Philip, put in the chat or down below, what spoken word do you want to hear? What, Aaron? Oh, that's good. Philip, we're waiting for you. The wall. Oof. I haven't done this one in a long time. It looks like Shanda might be ready to come back at some point. So, Shanda, I'm going to do the wall, and then we're going to bring you back. We're going to try it again. And just keep trying it. All right. Here we go. Hi, Shanda. We're gonna get you. All right. The wall. All right. Here we go. I haven't done this one probably since we filmed the video. So, Philip, this one goes out to you. Personal dedication. This is the wall. The wall at Jericho was an impenetrable force to any army that was trying to overtake the city. Before even dealing with the wall, the attacking troops would have to navigate their way across a 27-foot wide, 9-foot deep pit that lined the outer edge of the city. Then there was the wall itself, a 17-foot high, 5-foot thick, pure mass of solid stone. If the attacking army managed to get this far without being shot down by archers, all that was left was to defeat the well-trained Canaanite army that was waiting within. This was the reality for a young leader named Joshua and his ragtag Israelite army. These Israelites, who had seen an entire generation live and die while wandering through the desert, were tired, hungry, and facing what seemed like an impossible task, a hopeless situation. Now, I haven't lived very long, but I've lived long enough to know this, that running into walls is part of life. And the bigger the wall, the more hopeless the situation can seem. The large walls of sickness, loss, divorce, addiction, they pop up all around us and they seem impenetrable. And just like the wall at Jericho, these walls rarely stand alone. The walls of our lives are often accompanied by a deep pit of pain, suffering, and despair, and all the while an army of hopelessness attacks us on every side. The question is asked all the time, if God loves us so much and is so powerful, then how could he allow these walls to pop up around me? Now, I don't pretend to have the answer to these questions, nor do I pretend to understand just how deep or dark your suffering has been. I simply want to suggest that maybe God does his best work in seemingly hopeless situations. When I read the Bible, I read about people and characters, all who face seemingly hopeless situations. In fact, I cannot find one single person who walked faithfully with God without first facing a hopeless situation. Adam and Eve ruined paradise by inviting sin and death into a perfect world. A hopeless case. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers for his pride and put into prison. A hopeless case. Moses was cornered on the banks of the Red Sea with the most powerful army in the world breathing down his neck. A hopeless case. Gideon was 300 against 300,000. David stood across the valley from a bloodthirsty giant. Esther was a woman trying to gain a word with a prideful king. Daniel's roommate was a lion. His friends were thrown in an oven. Jonah sucked at his job. That's the best part. Jonah sucked at his job and got stuck in a whale. Peter was a coward. Paul was imprisoned. The 5,000 had no food. Lazarus was dead. Timothy was too young. Abraham was too old. The youngest son was too stupid. The walls at Jericho were too strong. And Jesus was humiliated, hung on a cross, and buried in a tomb, burying all hopes of the revolution that was hoped for thousands of years. Now, everybody was ready to close the book on these stories. The end, game over. But if there's one thing we learn from the scriptures, it's that we can never place a period where God has placed a comma. Because when all other options have been worn out, when circumstances couldn't get worse, when everything else has failed, get ready, because that's exactly where God shows up. Because Joseph became second in command. The Red Sea parted. Gideon won without lifting a weapon. Goliath's head was on a plate. Esther spoke and the king listened. Daniel tamed the lion. The oven felt like room temperature. Nineveh repented. Peter became the rock. Paul rejoiced. 12 basketfuls were left over. Lazarus was just kidding. Timothy built a church. Abraham built a family. The youngest son came home to a party. And the walls at Jericho came a-tumbling down. And Jesus Christ pulled off the resurrection, defeating sin and death. And the creation that had been marred so many years ago was now restored for all time. With God, what seems like a hopeless situation is not only possible, it's favorable. Because God can turn a mess into a message. Only God can turn a trial into a triumph, a test into a testimony, and a victim into a victory. His power is made perfect in weakness. So let us rejoice in our trials and hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, because he who promised is faithful, was faithful, and will always be faithful, no matter how hopeless the situation. Wow, that's a mouthful. I haven't done that one in so long. Why did I write that? There you go, Philip. There you go. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on.
You want a question or you want to make
Let's try it. Let's see if we can bring Shanda back on. All right. All right, let's see if we can get her on. Shanda, we're back.
All right. Let's try again. I'm Shanda Heilman.
All right, here we go.
I'm Shanda Heilman, and this is called Find. God, I thought we were friends, you and me and you. I thought I knew who you were. I thought I knew who you and me, were. We were us, until that one day it felt like you, God, got up from your seat and left the bus. I don't know if you recall, but I remember it all. I knelt to pray, worshiping you and ready to hear what you had to say, God. But that was the day, God, that I heard nothing. I was there on my knees, wanting to see and know more of you, God, but all I heard was nothing. God. I tell others what I'm feeling and thinking, but all I get is, oh, everyone goes through that. Everyone? Like it's nothing new under the sun. But for me, it's deeper and darker than anything I've ever felt, God. It's stressing me, depressing me. You said that you'd never leave or forsake me, but God, if you're gone, then why don't you just take me? The silence is painful. I feel so lost and alone and lost. God, where are you, God? Are you even real? You say if I come near to you, you'll be near me. But God, I don't feel you in here. Do you hear me? God, I thought we were friends, you and me and you. I thought I knew who you were. You're God. You are God. I've been trying to see you by doing your will, but God, all you've asked me to do is be still. Yes, you said you'd never forsake me or leave me, but I'm learning the hard way. My heart can deceive me. You didn't say I should be still and feel. Instead, you said be still and know that you're real. Be still and know, because it's not about feeling, but knowing. Not so much about reaping, but sowing your word in my heart, listening and growing, just being still and knowing you're God. It's odd, this sitting and being, not doing, just being still. I turn off the music, TV, and my phone, and listen and wait in the silence alone.
Oh no. She's buffering. Ah! No, Shanda, it was so good. It was so good. We're going to bring you back on to finish it up. I promise you. Oh, preach, girl. That was so good. Everyone, give her some love in the chat. That was so good. Sweet Bear, giving her love. Shanda, that was awesome. I know you probably weren't done. I know there's probably a little bit more to it, and hopefully we can bring you back on to finish it up. But man, that was great. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, let's take a question real quick while we wait to get her back on. This is live. This is live TV, people.
Okay, the question is, what inspired you to begin blogging every day?
What inspired me to begin blogging every day? Blogging. I'm assuming you mean blogging or vlogging. Really, both of them are the same answer, whether I'm talking about blogging every day or vlogging every day. So, I started blogging or vlogging to create a catalog of my thoughts and my life. The blog is more of a catalog of my thoughts, and the vlog is more of a catalog of my life. There are other really good reasons to blog or to vlog every day, but for me, I started the vlog because Sweet Bear and I were going on tour, and I wanted to have those memories. And I'm not a very good scrapbooker, so I thought, well, I'll just bring my camera and I'll upload those videos of what we do every day, and that'll be perfect. Then we'll always be able to look back on those and remember it. That's the reason I started. Since I've learned that there's been a lot of good things that have come out of it, and a lot of things I've learned, and a lot of other reasons to keep doing it. But that's why I started. And the blog was the same way. You can look back and see the way my mind worked in 2011 versus 2016. And I love having that sort of catalog of this is what I think, and this is how my mind was working at this time, and these are the things I was struggling with. These are the things I was feeling. And that's why I think everyone should start a blog or a vlog in some way. You don't have to necessarily share it with a bunch of people like I do, but I think everyone should start some sort of blog so that they can just catalog their thoughts. Because just by going back and reading those, you gain such an appreciation for how much you've grown and also for all the things that God has done in your life. It's pretty cool. All right. Let's see if Shanda is back so we can have her finish her poem. I don't think she is. And I was going to have her do a request next. Live television. I'm like, I need some powder.
Sorry.
It's so hot under these lights. Praise God for the heat.
Shanda's there.
Shanda's there?
She's on the chat.
She's on the chat? All right. See if see if you and Shanda can work it out.
I don't have.
I know, but in the chat, see if hi Shanda, is there a way, can you request to be on the screen again? Let's see if we can do that. All right, I'm gonna take Shanda while you're figuring that out. It's like we're getting your poem in like 3 parts. It's like the beginning, middle, and end. It's beautiful. I'm gonna take another request. Bree, are you here? Bree, are you watching? I don't know if yes, there you are, Bree. Bree, what do you want to hear? What is your request? It would be my pleasure to perform it. Bree, you can either make a request in the chat or down below, either one. And we will perform it, and then we will get Shanda back on the screen to finish up her poem.
I don't know. Let me think about it.
Let me think about it.
Do you want another question?
Think about it. How do you request to be on this? Oh, Shanda asked, how do you request to be on the screen? That's a great. It should be in the original email that I sent you, Shanda. Not the one to everyone, but just the one to the performers. There should be an invitation from. Let's see if I can actually. There should be an invitation in that email. But let me see if I can invite you on. Where are you?
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
will John come to that?
Would John come to Alaska? Yes, John would come anywhere, provided he is invited. I would love to come. However you were doing it, Shanda, however you were doing it before with requesting to be on the screen, that was working. Let me see. Not put chat on screen. Add to queue. Put on screen. Let me see if this works. I'm trying to put you on the screen. We're figuring things out. We're figuring things out as we go along. Bree, have you had enough time to think yet? Hook me up with a suggest. Yes, the little things. All right. While we continue to figure out Shanda, I'm going to do the little things. Let me just pull it up. I like this video, to give you a little background on this video. Oh, there it is. To give you a little background on this video, this was very much like a last minute thing. When we were doing a video every Friday, I was like, oh gosh, it's like Wednesday and I haven't even written a video yet. And I made this video very last minute. But then all of a sudden, it's one of our most popular videos, which I think is kind of cool. So here we go. Little things. We all want to do big things for God's kingdom. We want to start a church. We want to launch a mission. We want to lead someone to Christ. We want to make a difference. We want to do these things, but most of us don't actually believe it's possible. Most of us doubt that we could ever do anything for God, much less big things. I'm too young. I'm too weak. I'm too little. I'm just one person. Most of us severely underestimate the power that little things have to make a big difference. When I look at the scriptures, though, it becomes painfully obvious that little people can live gigantic lives. Little actions can have a huge impact. Little words can leave a lasting impression, and little things can make a big difference. If you've ever doubted the power of the little things, then I've got a few friends you should talk to. Talk to the mustard seed, who, though it is the smallest of all seeds, when it grows, becomes the largest of garden plants. Talk to Abraham, who was one man, but gave birth to an entire generation. Talk to Moses, whose tiny action of raising his staff out over the water parted the Red Sea, allowing God's people to walk into freedom. Talk to Jonah, who spoke only 8 little words, but caused the most ungodly city to repent on the spot. Go and talk to Joshua, who with one little step into the river was able to stop the waters of the Jordan dead in its tracks and bring God's people one step closer to the promised land. If you've ever doubted the power of the little things, talk to the young boy who had only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but offered them as a meal that proved sufficient to feed 5,000. Talk to Elisha, who simply picked up his shovel to dig a few ditches, but the Lord brought a downpour into the desert. Talk to Elijah, who discovered that the Lord is not in the powerful wind. The Lord is not in the earthquake. The Lord is not in the fire. He is in the little, gentle, soft whisper. If you've ever doubted the power of the little things, talk to God, who, when he wanted to change the world and redeem the sin of all mankind, sent a tiny human baby to get the job done. God chose the foolish things of this world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. And I believe that God chooses the little things of the world to make a big difference in his kingdom. Never doubt the big things that God can do through the little things we offer to him. Thank you, Bree. That one's for you. Thank you for all your support and all your generosity. You're awesome. You're incredible. Thank you. Let's check, Sweet Bear, let's get a question. But before you do, I'm just going to see if we can do anything about Shanda. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to try. Let's see. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. 1 second, everyone. Sweet Bear, I'm gonna make you a producer. So that means that I think you can now, if you go to Shanda in the chat, if you go up and click on her little icon, you should be able to chat with her privately and try and figure it out. Shanda, do not apologize. This is my live stream concert. I am the fool who can't figure this out. I'm so sorry. Part of it is the Wi-Fi and all of that. Anyway, Sweet Bear, question?
Yeah.
And I'll hop onto it.
The best question is tomorrow.
Okay.
How did Sweet Bear get her nickname?
The question is, how did Sweet Bear get her nickname? That's a good question. It was kind of a knack. Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I think I know what to do now.
Am I popping up?
No, I need to put you on screen to do that. I'm gonna make
I don't want to be.
I'm gonna make Shanda a producer after this. Okay. So to answer this question, all right. How did you get your name?
Well,
So
started
it started as Air. So her name is Erin. For anyone who is confused, her name is not actually Sweet Bear. I think some people might actually think that that's her name. It's not. Her name is Erin. And then I shortened everyone's name pretty much that I know. And so then I shortened Erin to Air, and then it was Air Bear, which other people had called her that, and I was like, oh, I don't want to call you something someone else has already called you. and then it became,
Song.
what was the song? Oh, and then I wrote this. And okay, so it was Aaron, Air Bear, and then I wrote this song because I started calling you the Bear. It went from Air Bear to the Bear, and then in college I wrote this song that I guess I can sing. It goes, the bear, the sweet, sweet bear. I love her much, I'll never let her go. The lyrics are, the bear, the sweet, sweet bear. I love her much, I'll never let her go. And I would always sing it in that voice. And then the sweet, sweet bear, and then it became Sweet Bear, and then it just was sort of an organic evolution. So that's how it happened. All right, we are gonna bring Shanda back on. I think we're ready. Let's see if we can do this. Shanda, I'm making you a producer, which means, all right, I can see you. Let's see if we can bring you on screen to finish up. I can't see you. There you are. Do we have her? Shanda, are you there?
I'm working on it.
We can see you and hear you. Oh, and we just lost you. What's going on? So strange. All right, we're gonna try, Shanda. We're gonna try one more time. Then we're gonna move, and we'll try and get someone else on to perform theirs and see if they can help answer some of our questions. Let's see. All right. Wait until I see you. Okay. We're gonna move on, and we're still working. Oh no, hold on. I think I might have her. I'm gonna try and put you on the screen, Shanda. Here we go. All right. If you get on there, Shanda, we'll yell and you go. All right, you're on. Yes.
Okay,
Victory.
so I was talking
Alright,
about
so
being
pick
still
up
and
where-
knowing. Being
Yeah, pick
still
up where
and
you left off.
knowing you are God. It's odd, this sitting and being, not doing, just being still. I turn off the music, TV, and my phone, and I listen and wait in the silence alone. But I'm not really alone, God. I was looking and searching for a place to start, 'cause it felt like I needed you back in my heart. But it's not that you left me, God. Maybe it's more that you were testing me, God, to see if it's true, to see if I really had faith in you. We are friends, God, you and me and you. I'm sorry I doubted us, God, and you. But now with my mind and my heart both aligned, in the stillness, this is where I know and I find God. Yay. Done.
Yes. Shanda, that was, I'm so glad we got to hear the rest of it. I'm so sorry we didn't get it in one thing, but Shanda, that was really great. Thank you so much for sharing. Everyone, continue to give her some love in the chat. Thank you for sharing. It was great. It was fantastic. Really. Preach it. Preach it. I was like, do you have a request of a poem you want to hear?
I was going to request The Wall, because that's one that I've listened to over and over again. And speaking of The Wall, I think we just tore one down by getting the rest of my spoken word out. So
Absolutely did. I was praying that whole time. Oh, and then we lost her! Oh, I can still hear you. Do you have another one that you'd like to hear?
not that I can think of. They're all
If you
good,
do-
so
If you do, just throw it in the chat and we'll hop on it right away. Okay?
thank you very much, and thank you for all that you
Yes,
do.
Shanda, thank you so much. You're fantastic. All right. There we go. Boom. All right, where were we? Let's take a question, and then we'll do another guest. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, Bethel, you're out there. I think I saw you in the chat. Get yourself ready. I'll see if we can. Hey, Air, are you still a producer? Can you find Bethel? Bethel, yeah, there we are. Can you find Bethel in the chat? And can you make her a producer? Click on her thumbnail. Okay, great. You have a question for me? All right, let's do it.
How did you get into acting and performing?
How did I get into acting and performing? I'm going to answer this question, then Bethel will bring it on. All right, how did I got into acting and performing? So growing up, I was a sports kid. For those of you who have met me, I'm almost 6 foot. I'm 6'4", almost 6'5". I was 11 pounds 11 ounces at birth, large human being. I've always been very large, and so my parents put me into sports early on. And I don't think it's that I was necessarily better at sports than anyone else. I was just bigger than everyone else, so I excelled. I was really good at sports. But my mom, she always wanted me to be a well-rounded kid. She always used that phrase. And so she kind of forced me to go audition for this play. Um, we were living in Michigan at the time. It was called Meet Me in St. Louis, and I got into the play somehow, and I got a line in the play. I was maybe 7, but I was playing like a 21-year-old or something, because that always happened to me when I was younger. And I secretly loved it. I secretly was just in love with performing, but I didn't want any of my sports friends to know that because it wasn't really cool to do musicals. So pretty much from the time I was 8 years old to the time I was 15, I secretly did musicals whenever I wasn't playing sports, and really didn't tell anyone that I did theater, except for the people I was in the shows with. And then I finally like came out of the theatrical closet, if you will, when I was like 15, and yeah, that's how I got into it, and I kind of fell in love with it. That's the story. All right, let's see if we can.
Okay, I got it.
Let's see if. Oh, whoa, whoa!
I do.
Sweet Beth, throwing people on the screen left and right whenever she wants to. You might have to wait until you can see in your private chat. You can see her. Here, let's try it again. We're gonna get you on the screen, Bethel. We're gonna get you. Here, I'll try doing it.
Oh.
Let's see. Because you might have to wait until you can kind of see her in the chat. Bethel's gonna do her poem, but be thinking, Bethel, about what piece you want to request as well. Hopefully we can get you working. Yeah, let's do another question while we wait for this. Great, we're gonna do one more question.
If you could only ever perform one of your spoken words from here on out,
If I could only ever perform one of my spoken words from here on out, what would it be? Probably from here on out, like the rest of my life. Probably both. Can I do both the Who You Are's? Because to be honest, they're actually not my favorite poems to perform or to listen to or anything like that. But I think it's clear that the message in those that's something that everyone needs to hear. You know, I think a lot of the other issues that I talk about in my spoken words, we see a lot of progress in. But as far as the issue of like self, confidence and seeing yourself the way God sees you, that's something that I think people have always struggled with ever since biblical times, and people will continue to struggle with. You know what I mean? So I would probably choose those because I think it is a message that is probably most needed. Probably. All right, so Bethel's thing is at 54%. Okay, maybe I can get her on the screen now. Here we go. I'm going to try. Hold on out for a hero. Everyone pray.
Hello?
There she is. Hi, Bethel.
Hey, John.
Hello, I can hear you. Can everyone hear her? Put in the chat if you can hear her. Yep, yes. Let's wait 1 second to see if they... Oh no, we're losing. What? No? Okay, everyone's saying no. She's going away now. Bethel, talk again.
Hello?
I can hear her. Keep talking. Just say hello.
Hey, what's up? You're awesome, John.
You're awesome. All right, we're good now, I think. Awesome. All right, Bethel, introduce yourself. Name your poem. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bethel Grove, and the name of my piece is called Grieving with Hope. Here it goes. February 6th, 2013 is a day I could have never foreseen. Like any other day it would seem, till on my college campus I found this scene. Coming back from Wednesday night church, I found everyone in dismay. Then I found out the reason. My friend Brandon had passed away. Reality hit me like a ton of bricks, and it all seemed so wrong, that the friend that sat next to me in class the day before was gone. The night and the days that followed were some of the hardest I've ever faced. Fighting through that grief and emotion made me feel like my heart had been displaced. But as hard as it was to go through that pain at that time, through the mountains of grief and emotion, I learned how to climb. I want to share a few of the things that I learned on this hike, so that it can help anyone that may face such a time in your own life. One of the lessons I learned wasn't an experience unlike any of its kind, the one in which the term Christian community was so clearly defined. After I heard Brandon went home to be with the Lord, a group of my friends decided to go pray outside of his dorm. At first, we started with just a few, but then the group of students grew, beyond those I knew until it seemed half of our small campus. We stood outside that dorm for several hours that night. Songs of comfort, peace, and heaven, many of us would recite. We offered up prayers for his family, his friends, and his dorm brothers. And while most of us were shedding tears, we comforted each other. Although it was clear that from this loss our hearts were torn, that night I learned what it means to mourn with those who mourn. In those moments, we are called to do more than try to comfort them in pain. We are called to cry with them and help bear the burden of their pain. For when the sorrow in my heart was so great that night I could barely stand, my friends literally caught me in their arms, embraced me hard, and held me up in their hands. Although these moments were difficult, they became bittersweet memories of what it really means to live out our lives in genuine Christian community. Another lesson I learned was even harder to face this truth, for trying to find hope while you grieve is so much harder to pursue. When most of us face this kind of situation, we struggle to understand why. How in the world could this happen so suddenly to such a good guy? Brandon Stuckey was barely 22, with so many dreams he was never able to pursue. His heart for the gospel and heart for people too made him one of the sweetest guys I ever knew. When I would think about it like that, it was so hard to understand, and the answers to all my questions I would try to demand. Many people in these moments will blame God or turn their back on Him, but in my case, turning to God was the only way to let the healing begin. Because I know Brandon believed Jesus died for his sin, so that he had redemption in the blood that was spilled for him. But Brandon also believed that after being buried for 3 days, Jesus rose to life again, which means he's now whole in the presence of the one that died for his redemption. In this knowledge, Christians can rejoice even while we mourn. We celebrate that through Jesus Christ we've all been reborn. Because of the cross, we find our salvation in one who identifies with our pain. He helps us through our darkest grief and He's the one thing that remains. Because of the resurrection, we have hope in an eternity beyond this life, and it's available to all who have placed their faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. If you're facing such grief, please remember that you are not alone, for God wants to bring you to Himself and tell you you're His own. He also wants to surround you with love through wise counsel and Christian community. Press into that love while you mourn, and let the church live out what we're supposed to be. Now I still miss Brandon, as do all of us who loved him or called him our friend, but because of his salvation in Jesus Christ, I know his passing was not the end. My prayer is that this story may help anyone that may struggle with hope, because thanks to Brandon, I now know what it means to grieve with hope.
Awesome. Thank you, Bethel. I'm sorry for your loss. That's great. Everyone give her some love in the chat. She deserves it. What a great piece. Awesome. Do you have a request of something you want to hear?
Yes, I do. I would love to hear you do Bride of Christ More Than a Metaphor.
Ah, Bride of Christ, More Than a Metaphor. I love it. All right, awesome. Thank you, Bethel. All right. Bride of Christ, bringing it back. This was another video that I was just like unbelievably flabbergasted that it became as popular as it did. All right, here we go. Bride of Christ, More Than a Metaphor, as requested by Bethel. Here we go. Jacob was wandering through the region of Haran when all of a sudden he saw Rachel. And immediately he knew she had to be his. So he volunteered to work 7 years in exchange for her hand. Only problem was, after 7 long years, he was given the wrong girl, Leah. So Jacob set out to work another 7 long years to get his Rachel. Love will make you do crazy things. Hosea was a prophet with one unique calling from God. Marry that prostitute, God said. Now, Gomer was not the ideal wife. She ran away. She gave herself to other men, but Hosea had a calling. And no matter how many times she ran away, no matter how many men she gave herself to, Hosea still loved her. Love will make you do crazy things. King Solomon had a good head on his shoulders. A smart guy. The wisest that ever lived, they say. But nothing could stop him from losing his mind every time he saw his beloved. He screamed of his love from the mountaintop. He shouted his devotion in the valley. He even wrote it all down and let millions of people read it. Love will make you do crazy things. So it's no wonder the Bible calls us the bride of Christ. And from the beginning of time, Christ has been pursuing his bride. Pursuing her beyond the walls of the garden, beyond her disobedience, pursuing her in the midst of her rebellion, in spite of her wickedness, pursuing her to the lands of foreign gods, in the midst of her unfaithfulness, because our disobedience to God's will can never outweigh Christ's obedience to it. Our wickedness can never outweigh his goodness. Our faithfulness can never outweigh his faithfulness. Our unfaithfulness can never outweigh his faithfulness. We give ourselves to other gods, but he still loves his bride. He shouts his love for us through every word written in the scriptures, and he pursues us to immeasurable lengths, even to death on a cross. Because with Christ, it isn't till death do us part. It is only through his death that we have assurance that we will never part from him and we will spend eternity together. Love will make you do crazy things. This is more than a metaphor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alrighty, let's take a question. Sweet Bear.
Okay, these are 3 like rapid fire.
3 rapid fire.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke or Pepsi? Coke. What is there another option?
WB characters or Disney?
WB characters or Disney? What do you mean by WB? Like Looney Tunes?
I guess.
If it's Looney Tunes, WB. If it's not, then Disney.
Oh.
I don't know.
And chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Yes, Looney Tunes. Yes, Looney Tunes.
Yes, Looney Tunes. Okay, yeah, then probably Looney Tunes. I mean, I think of Disney television characters though. Not Disney movie characters. And Space Jam is my jam. Just saying. All right. Cynthia Giles. I know there's a Cynthia in here. Cynthia, are you Cynthia Giles who's hoping to perform? Hit me up in the chat if you are. All right. Or Selena Benedetto if you're here. Hook me up in the chat. All right now. Also, at this point, I am going to open it up to any requests that you might have. So throw it in the comments. What did you say?
What is grace?
People want what is grace.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do what is grace. And Selena, let me know if you're here. Or Cynthia Giles, let me know if you're here. Because if you are here and you want to perform something, I don't want you to be missed. We're going to do what is grace. What is grace? What is grace? All right, what is grace? Here we go. I consider myself an expert on the subject of grace. Not because I understand it better than anyone else. In fact, most times I'm left completely clueless as to what grace actually is. I just know it when I see it. And I know it when I experience it, because frankly, I've needed a lot of it in my life. So I guess I'm not an expert, just I have a lot of practice. But even with all the years of messing up and needing what Christians call God's grace, I'm still left struggling with the most basic of questions. What is grace? You see, I think way too often we in the church overcomplicate something that at its purest form could not be more simple. You see, grace is gained righteousness at Christ's expense. Meaning that with Jesus' death on the cross, he purchased for us a right relationship with God that we could not earn for ourselves, because grace is received and can't be earned. And once this gift is realized, it adequately covers everything, meaning every debt is canceled. Every single sin, past, present, and future. So get ready and come expectantly, because grace is a growing revolution and carnal execution, meaning that we leave the flesh behind, and as we die more and more to ourselves, we are stepping into a movement that continues to grow and change the world by giving redemption and communion to everyone. God is granting rest after condemnation ends. Because a gap has been realized and connected entirely. A bridge has been built. The battle has been won, and God reigns and Christ is exalted. So simply put, grace is proof that God really can, really always can endure. That's the one. Whew, what is grace? That's another one that I didn't know was going to be popular. I guess none of them I knew were going to be popular.
Well, and certain ones you think are going to be really popular.
That's true. There are certain other ones where I'm like, this video is going to be it. And then it has like two views. Question?
Sure. How are your plans going to perform outside?
How are my plans coming to perform outside the US? All right, here's the deal. And I need you all to spread this. So my hope and dream is to be able to travel the world. And first, like the first places I want to go, Canada, South Africa, and the Philippines. Those are like the first places that I want to go because I have so many loving, wonderful supporters from there who have been asking me to come there for years. So those are things that I'm currently working on. You know, raising money, doing stuff like this. When I say for the channel, I mean to eventually one day get to the point where we have enough money for the channel where I can buy a ticket to South Africa and I can pay my own way to go there for a tour. So that's one option. That's one option. And that's going to take me a couple years. Really it is. And I'm praying that God will open those doors. The other option is for someone to kind of sponsor me to come there to your country, whatever that might be, whether it be a church or a school or someone like that. And if you're interested in that, hit me up. Send me an email, tweet at me, whatever. You know how to get in touch with me if you're here. So yeah, there's two options, and the option of me making my own way there, that is, my plans are happening, but slowly. Takes a lot of money, as you know. The other option of being sponsored, hey, that could happen tomorrow. I hope it does. Let's do another poem. What do they want to hear, Sweet Bear?
Change.
Change? A lot of people are saying change. Great. Sweet Bear, you don't even know what that one is, do you?
I was like, is that a poem?
You don't even know what it is. Have you ever watched that video?
What is it? Where is it?
It's in Jersey City. I walk really far up to the camera, no music.
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh, okay, sure you have. She's like, change? You should see her. She's like, change? Like, what is that one? All right. Change. Another one that I was like, oh, I guess this is more popular. Okay, here we go. This is change. I've been thinking a lot lately about the subject of change. Now, nope. Let me rewind it. Start it over again. Take two. I've been thinking a lot lately about something strange. Change. Now, I know that's an easy rhyme, and I know people say this all the time, but lately the gears of my mind have been tinkering undividedly around this subject of change. I believe that to bring change, you gotta be change. But first, you gotta see change somewhere out in the distant future, dial it up from long range and set free change. Let it rain. But I gotta be honest. It seems like every time we get near change, we steer clear of change. And the only excuse I can come up with is that we fear change. Well, that's a bit queer. That's a bit strange. Isn't this precisely what the gospel message is about? About one man who came and suffered so that sin could be covered, death smothered and captives recovered, the truth discovered and change ushered in? Isn't this precisely what the church is meant to be? Not a prison, nor an open range, but a home for the estranged, where grace and mercy are exchanged and hearts are rearranged. Isn't this what we're supposed to be, church? An agent for change? A place where the broken are made whole? Where change is the goal, and not just a change of clothes, but a change of your soul. So hold your roll. Keep your spare change. It costs far more than money to bring the exact change he spoke of. It costs your life. But in exchange for letting loose change, receive a life savings. So yeah, I've been thinking. But thinking about change is nothing more than an abstraction. Thoughts alone can be a distraction because they're only a fraction unless they begin to gain traction and start a chain reaction of changing action, a transaction where we begin to do the all-important work of the grocery store clerk, making change. I like that poem.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like never do that.
Yeah,
I should. Okay, obviously I don't, because Sweet Bear doesn't even know it, so. She's giving me the hard eyes now. All right, let's take another question.
Question?
Wait,
Okay.
we should check in. No Selena or Cynthia Giles yet?
If they are,
I'd be so sad. All right. Thank you for your snaps, Kayla. Thank you for your snaps.
okay. What was one of the hardest poems?
What was one of the hardest poems for me to write? You know, the hardest poem for me to write is always the one I'm currently writing. It really is. You know, some of them do like just pour out of me, but I find that the more I write, the less and less they sort of pour out, because I don't want to be repeating things that I've already done. A lot of people ask me like, make a part 2 to who you are, or you know, something like that. But I feel like I've already done that, and I'm not a big fan of, you know, sequels and things like that. So I always am trying to challenge myself and go in a new direction and try something new. And so it's always the one I'm currently writing. So right now I'm currently writing a poem, and I'm finding it really, really difficult. I'm finding it really hard. Because, and I guess no better time than now to let everyone know, but for those of you who don't know, April is National Poetry Month. And so I thought, since I have a channel that is mainly known for spoken word poetry, I should do something for that. So, you all know I vlog every day. We always got Day in the Word, ADITW, every Wednesday. And on Friday, I do either a spoken word, Q&J, a long talk, or a 7-minute sermon. In April, every single Friday, I will be uploading a new spoken word video in memory, in honor of National Poetry Month. So you'll get 5, actually. I believe there's 5 Fridays in April. 5 brand new spoken word videos coming on this channel in April. We're going to cut that part out. But yeah, so it's the one I'm currently writing. I'm not going to let you know what it's called, because you're going to have to tune in. All right.
Okay, Shanda
Shanda
has her
has her request. Praise God. Shanda, what's up?
She wants to hear about this generation. If you want to.
Shanda wants to hear a Godless Generation. That's why because this is probably my favorite spoken word to perform. Mainly because one of the reasons was because it was part of the tour show that I took all around the country. So I've done it many, many times, but also because this is a message right now in my life that is very near and dear to my heart. I have it memorized, but I'm just going to read through it just in case. Sweet Bear says, let me know if you want me to do it, because she has heard it so many times. All right, let's pull it up. And here it is. Here we go. Shanda, thank you for your poem. This one goes out to you. Richard wants a duet. Do you want to come up, Sweet Bear? No, she doesn't. She doesn't. She's scared. She's nervous. You can come up. Oh, next question. Make it a question you can answer. All right, she's going to come up after this. All right. While I'm doing this poem,
They want me to.
think of questions.
I should imitate you.
Do you want to imitate me doing it? Okay. Sweet Bear is going to come up and imitate me doing it. And then I'm going to do... Well, first she's going to ruin my self-esteem. And then... Here we go. Here she is. Everyone, Sweet Bear! She's a little short. You need the words?
Yeah. Okay.
You really need the words?
Yeah. Well, what if I forget?
Okay, ruin my self-esteem. I'll let you do it.
So to get right to the point today, I got a little game that I'd like for y'all to play. It's called How Many Teenagers Do You Know That Are Actively Pursuing a Life with God? For most of us, the game doesn't last very long. Like a banging on a gong, the preacher say, "What's wrong with kids today?" And the song goes on and on and on. But the song being sung is partly true.
Come on, okay.
We live in a generation where, for the most part, we're rather smoke a joint than sit in a pew. That's all I got.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't even get to the good part, but you're welcome, guys.
So she'll do this from time to time. She will imitate me doing my own spoken word, and it's hurtful. It really is hurtful, I'll tell you.
I think I got a good impression.
You do a great impression. Now you're gonna see. Now you're gonna see just how good her impression is. Maybe we'll bring her back up later.
You should get over it, John.
All right, here we go. A Godless Generation. Here we go. So to get right to the point today, I got a little game that I'd like for you all to play. It's called, How Many Teenagers Do You Know That Are Actively Pursuing a Life with God? For most of us, that game doesn't last very long. Like a banging on a gong, the preachers say, "What's wrong with kids today?" And the song goes on and on and on. But the song being sung is partly true. We're surrounded by a generation who, for the most part, would rather smoke a joint than sit in a pew. And if I'm being honest, I'm getting really tired of placing all the blame on them. So let's just say that perhaps part of the problem, church, is you. You see, teenagers today, or people for that matter, would rather live by their own luck. Because they see the religious system as just way too stuck. And if you heard me say, I read my Bible every day, you'd be like, what the fudge? Doesn't that mean you're quick to judge? Never budge, and just a plain old schmuck? And if this is the perception that we're so full of pride, then perhaps it's time we took a look inside and reclaimed the part of Jesus that we've lost. The one who partied with sinners, touched the lepers, loved the children, and who paid the highest cost. Have you ever considered just how many parties Jesus attended in the Gospels? If someone wanted to throw a party today, church, I'm not sure that they would hire us. People don't gather around Jesus anymore. They gather around Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus. And please, I'm not here to bash secular music either. I'm tired of that. And plus, I like some of those songs. I'm simply here to suggest that we might also be in the wrong. It's clear that in the lives of the next generation, the church rarely plays a part. And maybe that's because some of the messages on TV and film and social media are a little bit more from the heart. The church can't be this billboard of propaganda, just a list of shoulds and should nots. It's got to be a living, breathing art piece where people say, I want what they've got. When did the movement of Jesus lose its authenticity and require its members to climb to some spiritual peak? Because if only the strong survive, then how come his power is perfect when we're weak? Now, I'm not trying to start a fight, because I know some churches do this right. I'm merely here to suggest that we might just be as blind as those to whom we're trying to give sight. We as the church need to wisen up. Because the next generation is rising up and they're finding their prize in the things of this world. Because in their eyes, we haven't given them a better option. Running away from the church like a toxin because we're locked into a system of judgment and dismay. Hate you if you're struggling, different, or gay. Why would anyone want to stay when they're just viewed as a project on which we can project our list of rules? And the more we try and protect the children in this way, the more we reject what God is trying to project to the world through them, and that is His project of authentic love. Now we cut a part out of this that I actually want to get to. Please hear me out. I cut this section for the tour show, so I'm not used to saying this section. Please hear me out. You've made it this far. I'm not trying to be harsh, and I'm not trying to condemn either side. I'm suggesting that instead of forcing people onto some religious journey, why not invite them along for the ride? Let's look to share before we look to teach. And maybe let's put a little bit more care into what we preach. Let's make faith in Jesus a little more attractive. And by that, I don't mean hip or cool. I'm talking about interactive. Because you can never underestimate the power of someone who truly cares and who dares to be the one person who will listen when no one else will. This is the kind of love that I believe Jesus was talking about. That authentic love that spurs us to a life that people can't help but be attracted to. Church, let us begin to live in that love. And let us stop blaming the younger generation for every problem in the world and instead come alongside them and invite them on an adventure that Jesus said would bring even greater things yet to come. This is authentic love. The original title of that poem was Authentic Love, if you couldn't tell, but then I named my first book Authentic Love, and everything was shot to poop. What? Does John do any freestyle? No? He doesn't. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. Maybe I could try some. Sweet Bear does a great freestyle, actually. Now they're going to make you do it, though.
I'm not doing it. What do you want?
All right, question.
What inspired you to do what you're doing? You got your first and successful, but what made you want to continue?
The question is, what inspired me to keep going? What inspired me to keep going after I made my first poem? For me, and this is something I talk about a lot, actually. For me, influence is a drug. And what I mean by that is the first time I realized that something I made or something I wrote or something that I said could have an impact on someone, the first time I saw that something I had done or said had an impact on someone to the point where it changed the way that they thought or acted or anything like that, it changed them. The minute I saw that have an impact, I got higher than any drug could ever get me. I was on cloud 9. That was just the most amazing feeling to me, to know that something I had done had made an impact on someone else. And once I got that, like a drug addict, I couldn't get enough. I needed to get more. And so for me, that's why I keep doing it, in the hopes of having an impact. One of my life verses is actually in Daniel, which we're studying on ADITW. ADITW. Sweet Bear says she doesn't think that's going to be a thing. It is a thing. She doesn't know us. One of my favorite verses is in Daniel, which says, "Those that bring many to righteousness will shine as the stars forever and ever." And I pray that verse all the time, that God would give me an influence so big, or that His influence through me would be so big that people would still be turning to the light because of stuff I have made far after I'm gone. So that's my answer to that question. All right, another poem?
Yeah, they want work in progress.
Yes. I say, okay, work in progress. I say yes because I actually really like this poem. I had a lot of fun writing it. And it is my pleasure to do it for you all now. This is another one that I have a little bit memorized, but just in case. Just in case. Just in the cases. Work in progress. Y'all are on the vlog.
Yeah.
Say hi, everyone. All right. Enough distractions.
You know what?
Let's do this. Work in progress. Just to be clear with you, I never claimed to be perfect. I never claimed to be finished. I am far from done. Just to be clear, I'm a work in progress, a progression of work, a succession towards success, a digression away from stress. Intercession in the midst of my mess comes a blitzing of a blessing, a mauling of mercy, a heaping, helping of hope. Before I even start, before this train leaves the station, I'm beginning at the root to set a firm foundation, embracing regeneration, moving inspiration to implementation, to the shaking of a nation. It takes more than a little patience to be a work in progress. Piece by piece. Elbow grease, a life on lease. My growth will never cease, and I'll decrease so he may increase and unleash his peace in me in progress. Everybody wants the work to be done quickly. Everybody's looking for some hack. But I'm not interested in magic beans. I'll leave the giant stalk to Jack. Every day I'm working. Every day I'm waking. Every day I'm walking. Every day I'm waiting, praying, saying, don't give up. Don't give in. Just live into who he created you to be. Once blind, but slowly learning to see. You see, we're all a work in progress. A progression of work. An obsession with success. An obsession with succession. Peppered with digression, but it's all a lesson. And class is in session because my professor is my progressor and aggressor. Pursuing me by teaching me. Saving me by reaching me. And it wasn't just by preaching, see, it was by living and giving. By crying and dying. I'm a work in progress and I'll never stop trying. Yet, it's not really about work. It's about grace. It's about making space for him to progress his work in me. I believe that he has pro-grace. I believe that as I progress, that he has pro-grace. That's professional grace. Major League Graceball, the National Basketball Association. He began a good work and he'll carry it to completion. I'm depleted, but not defeated. I'm down, but not done. I'm not a dream, but I'm not a dope either. I'm not dead, I'm developing. I'm not finished yet, but I'm nowhere near where I started. The old self I knew, he and I have parted. We're no longer related, and I'm elated that he has faded because that guy was overrated. And I'm not saying I'm much better, but I'm a work in progress. A construction zone, a roaming phone, a child not yet fully grown, but I'm slowly being shown the way by the one who calls me his own. Less in love with myself, I lay my life down, progressing to inheritance, to inherit the crown. And I'm not quitting. I'm getting ever closer. I may never fully reach it, but that's no excuse not to seek it. I'm not just going to speak it, I'm going to live it. I'll walk the walk. I'll walk the work. Just to be clear with you, I'm a work in progress. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Let's do another question, but then what I would like to do, let's do another question, and then while I do the next poem, y'all need to ask questions that Sweet Bear and I would answer together, because I'm going to bring her back on. So we're going to do one question, another poem, then we'll do like 3 questions that we can answer together. Cool? Question.
Okay, this one's a double one. First, what's your biggest dream for the spoken word? And second, did you go to college?
Okay. First, can I answer in the opposite order? First, did I go to college? Yes. I went to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I majored in acting/musical theater. But really, I tell people that I majored in storytelling because that's really what I do more of than acting and musical theater right now. Secondly, what was the other question? What is my biggest dream for these spoken word poems? What is my biggest dream for these spoken word poems? I think my biggest dream is that they would touch a person, anybody, and that they would continue to touch people. That's why I started doing them, to encourage and entertain and hopefully, enlighten and inspire other people. And so the dream doesn't get any bigger than that, because that's what I believe God has called me to do in this life. And so, yeah, that's it for sure. All right, remember, asking questions that Sweet Bear and I can answer together. But first, we're gonna do a poem. Did someone just knock on the door? I've been counting. I'm gonna take a suggestion for a poem.
Now everyone wants to hear.
Oh, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday trilogy? Just Sunday? Alright. Sunday. Let's do it. Before I do this one, because this one was a request from Mallory Jones. I have to give a big shout out to Mal and a big thank you to her, because all these things that I'm reading right now, she transcribed every single one of them. I do a really terrible job of saving the poems that I write, but Mal has done an incredible job. She transcribes all the videos, and a lot of these videos that we're doing, they have proper subtitles because of her. So thank you, Mal. You're the best. Let's do Sunday. And maybe if we have time, we can do the other two. Disclaimer. The following is based on events that took place in and surrounding the city of Jerusalem the day after the Sabbath, the third day, and the days that followed, approximately 33 AD. Very early in the morning, before the sun takes its place in the sky, a woman stands in yet another garden, spices in hand, repeating the same question. Why? This is the scene on Sunday. Two men walking down a 7-mile road, unpacking all the thoughts that crowd in their head. The man that they thought was the Savior of the world, that man, that Jesus, now this man was dead. This is the scene on Sunday. A group of fishermen, rowing along in their boat, just going back to what they did before. A voice cries out, "Have you not caught anything?" There's a mysterious man waiting on the shore. This is the scene on Sunday. Sunday starts in the dark, but soon comes a spark of revolution, of revelation, of real elation, with the realization that he is real, and so is his nation. On Sunday, the stone is rolled away. The enemy is at bay, and redemption's here to stay. On Sunday, the nets overflow, the angels simply glow, and the linens are folded, white as snow. On Sunday, he's recognized when the bread is broken, and the dead are awoken, and a new word is spoken. On Sunday, we receive our sign that he is the vine, so let light shine. On Sunday, Herod was wrong. The grave was not strong, and we finally belong, so sing a new song, because on Sunday the dead rise, and he opens our eyes, lifting our hands to the skies. On Sunday, Peter takes a dive while the fishermen thrive. To Emmaus we arrive, and love is alive. On Sunday, we don't search for the living among the dead. On Sunday, we became the body, and he became the bread, and redeemed every tear that has ever been shed. On Sunday, we head in a new direction, because there's been an intersection between reflection and perfection. And that connection, that's right, we call it resurrection. In John 19, verse 41, it says that they laid Jesus to rest in a tomb in the middle of a garden. And I think that was their biggest mistake. Because if you want something to stay dead, you don't bury it in a garden where the voice of the one who created the very soil itself will call forth to his son saying, "Rise up and live." He is the gardener whispering our name. He is the stranger on Emmaus Road. He is the mysterious man calling from the shore. On Sunday, will you recognize him? On Sunday, will you answer him? On Sunday, will you rise up and live. Oh, I got a little emotion in the ocean there. A little emotion in the ocean. Yeah, come on. Easter's in like a week and a half. Praise Jesus. Oh, God is good. All right, here we go. You got 3 questions?
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah, come on up. So now we're going to take a little break from spoken word. Sweet Bear and I,
Hey guys.
we're going to answer some questions that you had that both of us can answer.
Yeah.
What are they?
So they're asking if I have a nickname for you.
Mm.
Not to the same extent that he has for me. Like,
Let's see when you fix this framing.
he
So.
literally doesn't call me by my name ever. It's only Sweet Bear. So
Yeah, even actually,
like he never like when he calls me Aaron, he's like mad at me or like
I don't even know.
something's very serious. Like,
Yeah.
anyways,
Okay.
so I don't have one to that extent, but I call him Babe, which I know is like kind of gross. But I call him Babe, and then I also call him Baby John, like from
That's
West Side
true.
Story.
Sure you do. Well, what is my official nickname?
Jay.
Well, that's what my family calls me, but you're
Oh, I'm a Sweet Bear and he's a Sweet Swan. Big
John the Swan.
John the Swan.
But we never use that.
No.
That my animal hasn't stuck the way hers has.
No. But he did get kind of a swan one. So.
That's true, but it's an owl. It's a blue owl.
But it looks like kind of like a swan. They're asking if Bethel asked John Swan, what? What is John's favorite Disney hero and Aaron's favorite Disney princess?
My favorite Disney hero is Quasimodo, because he's the unlikely.
My favorite princess is Ariel.
She's the likely.
I also like Cinderella. I like Cinderella, like, I don't really love the movie, but, like, I love the Broadway show, Cinderella. How long have we been together? This summer will be 7 years. On and off. We didn't date for 6 years before we were married, but we were kind of on and off for 6 years before we got married.
Which will be like 30% of my life.
That's crazy.
No, it'll be like 26.
Someone asked, what kind of dance do I teach?
Yeah, they know you
I teach
dance.
like ballet and jazz to youngins. I teach 2 classes to like a junior team and then 1 older team for the theater company we grew up doing. It's a mix of ballet and jazz.
Do you guys sing together from time to time?
No.
Kayla?
Actually, we
Kayla?
do. We do, like in the car, but like not. We're not like one of those couples that's like, let's jam. Like,
Yeah.
we're not one of
Well,
those.
because neither of us consider ourselves very good singers.
No, and I don't really like singing all that much.
Me neither.
We do sing that Justin Bieber song.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite fast food restaurant? Girl, that's too hard to pick. But we've been obsessed with Domino's lately.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if that counts as fast food.
So, yeah.
We have gotten...
You've probably seen it on the vlog.
Because we eat healthy all week, and then Sunday we have like a cheat day where we eat whatever, and we...
Just to be clear, every meal you see on the vlog that is unhealthy, I literally show every unhealthy meal I eat on the vlog.
Yeah,
every other meal that I don't show is like boring and veggies and chicken.
Domino's bread bowls, what are those?
Domino's bread bowls, I don't know. The pan pizza.
The pan
It
pizza
changes
is what
lives.
we do half pepperoni.
We gotta try the bread bowl.
Half pepperoni and sausage, pan pizza from Domino's. Get the garlic sauce, get the ranch. It's the best thing ever. Favorite memory with each other? Our wedding day?
Yeah.
Our honeymoon. We had a lot of like fun.
Yeah, I don't really consider that my favorite memory yet, because it's so recent that I don't consider it a memory. Like, I consider a favorite memory of mine, like going to see Transformers 2.
Like our second date.
Our second date, you know what I mean? Something like that.
I say the wedding. Like, me and my mom were talking about the wedding today, and I was like, I want to go back. Like, I miss it.
Do you encourage each other spiritually? Yes, but how?
How?
How do I encourage you?
Well, we kind of, sorry, I'm distracted by the bread.
Oh my God, we're going. How do I encourage you spiritually?
Well, John is like just an encourager in general, like in every aspect of my life. Like, John is such a go-getter, and he's such a person that's like stop making excuses and do it. And like that, I can naturally be really lazy or naturally let my like fears kind of hold me back from doing anything. And he's so good about being like, stop. He doesn't say it like this, but he's like, you know, get up and do it. And he's so encouraging in that sense. And that's like transcended into my spiritual life, into like opening up a calligraphy shop, like all of that. He has been so like, do it. You can do it. Like you can start anything, you know? And then John's just like a leader. Like you guys see, he's a leader in like every aspect of his life, and that's included in our marriage.
Sweet, that's very nice of you.
And also, like, we know each other's love languages, so he knows like
Quality time.
Yeah, what is like best for me, and he encourages me in that way. Whereas like his is encouragement, so I try to like verbally
steal my answer.
Encourage. Okay.
For me, yeah, the way that she encourages me spiritually, is through like words of admiration or encouragement. That's my love language. I thrive off of that, and so yeah, she encourages me in that way. And then also, just it's really through her like constant presence in my life. I had never, from the moment we kind of decided we were going to get married, I have never once doubted her affection for me, her love for me. I joke about it.
Yeah, because John's like a snuggly person.
Just with her.
I'm not. Like, I'm like, leave me alone.
When you're out there and we meet, like, don't touch me, but then that's everyone else. But just with her. And I joke about, like, oh, you don't really love me. But she does. And I know that she does. And I never have once doubted that. And knowing that you have someone who's always going to be there for you and always love you no matter what, that gives me such incredible confidence everywhere I go. Like, the love that God has for me, that unconditional love, I think that God has placed her in my life as kind of like a human picture of what his love is like for all of us, is her love for me. It's so unconditional. So, anyway, let's do another poem.
Okay, Mallory said she likes my hair. Thanks, Mallory. I'm trying to grow it out. I was like playing with it.
All right.
Wait, no, someone wants to know our first impression of each other. Go watch the vlog of how we met.
Yeah.
It's so boring. Everyone always wants to know how we met. It's like the worst story ever.
Because you don't officially meet when you're
little.
7 years old.
When we were little. And I thought John was creepy for a while.
I always thought she was hot. Super hot.
Okay, another poem. They want to hear Not Qualified or 5,000.
Which one should I do? Okay. Let's do 5,000. I burped. I'm sorry. We have like 23 minutes left. And just so you all know, at the end, for those of you who stick around, oh, thank you. That's so sweet, Richard. Richard says he is a little creepy. So anyway, for those of you who stick around to the end, I will be doing a brand new, never before heard spoken word poem. Sweet Bear hasn't even heard this one.
What?
Actually, you might have. I probably read it for you at some point. But yeah, so stick around to the end. But we're going to do 5,000 right now. I have plans on doing. Do I have 5,000 in here? No. I think I do. Not qualified. I don't know if I have 5,000 in here. I think I might not. No worries. No worries, Mal. I have the answer. Hold on. It is in my Google Docs. I think this is one I actually saved. Yep, here it is. 5,000. Here we go. Loading. All right, here we go. This is 5,000. I don't even remember why I was there in the first place. It certainly wasn't to have a serendipitous serenade by scandalous grace. If you've seen me in religion class, you know I barely keep pace. Luckily, this seemed like the type of space where math skills might come in handy. Right. Not any kind of math I'd ever learned. 5,000. Now, I know you're not going to believe this, but little do you know, long ago, he actually decreed this, that he would come and complete us, this man named 5,000. I remember when I saw you first, sitting among the worst, the broken-hearted, the cast out, the cursed, the sick, both physical and spiritual, looking to be nursed, 5,000 of them, and every one of them hungry, bursting with thirst. Mom didn't give me much. I only had 2 fish and some bread, but for some reason I just felt led to share it with you instead. I only have enough loaves and fish for a single dish, and my only wish was just to help you, to be near you, 'cause I fear you, but it's that good kind of nervous. Like when you know that something far outside your own understanding is about to happen. The bread had gone stale, and the fish were undercooked. In fact, they were quite raw. But as the disciples came back again and again, all my doubts began to thaw. You may not believe me, but I know what I saw. The fulfillment of the law, and I got witnesses. Roughly 5,000. I myself will never understand, but I had a hunch about that lunch. Somehow I knew that when I gave that food to you, that something as simple as 5 plus 2 would actually equal 5,000, with a remainder of 12. 12, like, guess who? Well, the disciples got to eat too. And that was that. The end. Nothing left to see. And all I could think was that little drummer boy ain't got nothing on me. His rat-a-tat-tat can't compare to the time when 5,000 people sat and got fat on my little lunch pail. Only the Son of Man could pull off something like that. This epic one-man potluck. 5,000. Wow. He really outdid himself this time. That's another one that I like. Yeah. That I never think about, I never read, I never do anything with. Sabi or Sabi, Sabi. Thank you so much. She says your spoken words are so powerful. Thank you so much. Oh, just so you know, if you can't stick around to the end, no worries. Sabrina asked. No worries. My hope is that I'll get this off of Spreecast pretty soon, and then post it on the YouTube channel with everything, and make sure to give my shout outs and my thank yous, and don't worry, if you gave to make this happen, you'll get posted in the description there, and you get all your shout outs. So if you can't stick around to the end, I will post it on the channel, I promise. Question? Question, can I get one? The meaning behind anima. Okay, so it's kind of like a great story, but also a really boring story. So when we uploaded our first video, we knew we were going to create the second one, because the first one was Who You Are, a Message to All Women, and the second one was going to be Who You Are, a Message to All Men. So my friend Danny, who I kind of started it with, he went to me and my other friend DJ, and he was like, hey, we should call this something, because we're going to have more than one video. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And I was like, call it whatever you want. He's like, what about anima? And he's Italian. And so I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, it's the Latin and Italian word for spirit. And I was like, great. But call it the anima series, because anima is too much like anime. People are going to be confused. So we just threw that on as the title. And then it kind of stuck for 2 years until the beginning of this year, when I changed the name to John Jorgensen, because now I'm the only one who works on the channel. It's just kind of my personal channel now. And I made a whole video about why I changed it. But that's the bad but maybe kind of good story about the anima series. Another spoken word?
Yeah, they want
Not qualified. All right. I recently performed this one, memorized, but just in case, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look on. Okay, not qualified. I'm gonna do this one, then answer a couple more questions, then probably one more, then I'm gonna do my thank yous, then I'm gonna do the brand new one. Here we go. Not qualified. So the other day, I got a message on Facebook that said, John, I love the message of your videos, but not if it's coming from you. There are choices you've made in your past that render you not qualified to spread such a message. And for me, that was hard to hear, because the hypocritical Christian is something I fear. To be put in a category like that, I could think of nothing worse. So maybe there's something I should have said first. You see, I can't and won't and don't claim to be perfect. In fact, most times I'm not even good. I'll take responsibility for the mistakes I've made and the hurts I've caused. I got more than I probably should. But would God use that against me? Making good coming from my life impossible? Forgives me but refuses to use me? I don't believe in that gospel. I believe in the God of Moses. Moses was an orphan and a murderer with a stutter and a price on his head. Yet God chose this killer to be a fulfiller, performing miracles and making rivers flow red. I believe in the God of David. David, the shepherd boy who turned into a king, a terrible father and an adulterer from the start. Yet even with wrongdoings and iniquity, we remember him as the man after God's own heart. Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, or at least living a life without direction. Matthew was a tax collector, the lowest of the low, yet they both walked and talked and witnessed Christ's perfection. Did God choose the Pharisees? The self-righteous and pompous, full of laws and pretension? Or did he choose cowardly Peter and persecuting Paul to spread the message of Christ's redemption? All these heroes in the Bible, not a one of them was likely. Leaning not on themselves, they leaned on God. And you know what God is? He is mighty. So can God use me, a broken, steaming mess? And can God use him or her or you? I'm here to tell you right now that the answer is yes. God can and will use anyone, even if you only go to church on Christmas. Does he only speak through the preacher? No, God is in a different business. Because believing in the Lord isn't living a perfect Walgreens life, always being right. It's letting his light shine from within and letting his word be your tutor. He'll take your broken past, helping you step into a more hopeful future. Because it wasn't for perfection that Jesus died on the cross. It was for the unhealthy, so the sick could serve the sick and seek and save the lost. And in the end, these lights and these cameras and this video and this concert and this live stream, it's not about me. It's about God. And with God, it's never about who you were, but about who you will be. It's God's story for the world. We're just playing our parts. So if you're out there feeling not qualified, that's great. Because not qualified is where he starts. Hey. Oh my gosh, you want to see some dance moves? Watch Q&J. Happens every time. Sweet Bear, can you play me some music?
What kind of music?
Anything. Hopefully some Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder?
I'm going to give you some dance moves.
I'm not on iTunes.
I don't have any music on my iTunes. It's all recordings of myself. I don't know. Why do I have a Lissa asked, why do I have, well, Sweet Bear's figuring out my music for my dance. Lissa asked, why do you have a passion for the younger generation? For me, my passion for students started with that camp that I talked about earlier. I worked at a camp and went to a camp growing up. And because I had counselors and leaders who poured into me and encouraged me and taught me and led me, and eventually brought me on their team as a counselor and taught me how to lead, I wanted to sort of, since I've been blessed, I wanted to be a blessing. And also, for me, God gave me a huge heart for students when I saw, like I talk about sort of in a Godless Generation, how much I can learn from students and what a huge heart they have. And also looking at how teenagers, middle school and high schoolers are treated in society as sort of still treated as like second-class citizens. You know, in Jesus' day, it was the little children who were treated as second-class citizens. I think today we have an epidemic of teenagers being treated that way. Teenagers are constantly treated in society as though they are the problem with the world, and I actually think that they are the solution. They just need people to come alongside them and encourage them and be there for them. So that, if you couldn't tell, is why I'm passionate about young people. You got some music for me? Hit me with it. We're about to dance. Sweet Bear's going to join me, though. Ooh!
Is that Stevie Wonder?
Sweet Bear's got the moves, though. Station! Writings on the wall. You like this one? Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. That was embarrassing.
Question, what's your favorite book?
What's my favorite book? Oh gosh. That's so hard. I'll just choose one. One of the books that changed my life was The Circle Maker by Mark Batterson. Book on prayer. Changed my life. Absolutely. Let's do one more spoken word. One more spoken word.
People want either what are you afraid of or if that's not something.
Ooh. I'm gonna do what are you afraid of?
Yeah, because you just.
I just released It's Gotta Stop Somewhere. I've been doing that one a lot. What are you afraid of? Recently got a resurgence, and I haven't spoken this one in a long time. So I'm gonna do what are you afraid of? Then I'm gonna give some thank yous, and then new spoken word, never before seen. Here we go. What are you afraid of? I used to be afraid at night, afraid of the dark, afraid that just beyond the point my eyesight allowed me to see, that there was something lurking. Afraid that the darkness itself would somehow surround me and swallow me up, as if darkness was anything more than simply the absence of light. I used to be afraid of tomorrow, afraid that who I was would continually dictate who I am, and that who I would be might be someone I didn't like very much at all, as if there was no such thing as being made new. I used to be afraid of opinions, afraid that though words would not break my bones, they certainly would shatter my dreams, as if I started doing this for the approval of many rather than the glory of one. I used to be afraid of failure, afraid of losing, afraid of falling, afraid of being wrong, creating busts, and looking absolutely stupid, because who am I to think that I could actually make a difference? As if those setbacks were anything more than stepping stones on my path to success. I used to be afraid. Used to. But then I did a little research, and by that I mean I researched and I researched over and over again, and through all my researching, I kept coming up with the same exact question. What room does fear have? What room does fear have when I cling to trust? What room does fear have when I lean on hope? What room does fear have when I search for something more? When I discover what's good and when I stand in awe? When I run with perseverance? When I walk by faith and when I rest in comfort? What room does fear have when I sing with praise? When I take hold of inspiration? Explore the possibilities and step into freedom? What room does fear have when I discover strength? Embrace courage, remember peace, declare truth, choose joy, experience life, and conquer death? What room does fear have when I find perfection in the one place I never thought to look, in weakness? When I'm saved by the most unlikely of heroes, by grace. When I'm invited into a relationship more loving and intimate than I could ever imagine as a child of God. I'll ask you again, what room does fear have when I step out of the darkness and I bask in the light? When I let the past be the past and the future has no limit. When they can talk all they want, but their opinion doesn't matter. And when failure is nothing more and nothing less than the road by which I walk my path to success. I'll ask you one last time, what room does fear have when in his word he tells me 365 times, depending on the translation, do not be afraid? As if I needed to hear it every single day. And as if that's how many times I needed to hear it before I finally believed it. What room does fear have when I make room for love? What are you afraid of? Alrighty, let's do one more question. My favorite part of traveling, besides speaking, is airports. I love going to airports because for me, airports are like my alone time to sit and to watch people. I write a lot. A lot of these spoken words that you heard tonight were written in airports. I love airports. So another one is getting to eat food in places. If you can't tell, we kind of like food. Yeah, Sweeper does have a Snapchat. You should add her. What is it? Is it Aaron Albert or is it Aaron Jorgensen? Who knows? We'll find out. All right. I have a question, or not a question. I have thank yous to give. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna do one final spoken word. But really, I want to thank all of you so much for coming out. This has been a blast. This has made me want to do more live streams. The reason that we did it on Spreecast was so that I could bring in Bethel and Shanda. But in the future, I'll probably just do them on YouTube and do some Q&A stuff, and maybe perform some spoken words and things like that. But yeah, so maybe I'll do more live streams. Let me know if you would want me to do that. But really, I want to give some thank yous. Thank you once again to challenge.org, challenge without an E. It's a great website, really up and coming. Thank you to Sweetback, my beautiful wife, who gave up our apartment tonight so that I could do this, and who's been so generous with her dancing and her answers and helping me out and doing my spoken word and making me feel bad about myself. Thank you to Bethel and Shanda for sharing your talents. Thank you to Mallory for writing out all those spoken words. And then thank you to everyone who gave. That's Ishmael, Sarah, Bree, Selena, Bethel, Cynthia, Philip, Josh, Eric, MK, Shanda, Anna, Julia, and Hannah. Thank you all so much. You are the best. Keep being awesome. Now, this is a brand new spoken word, never before heard. This is called, and this is how I'm going to end the night. So, what did Christ... Oh no. Can everyone hear? Just want to make sure before we lose it. Or is it just... My microphone says it's working. Let me know in the chat if you can hear, because we wouldn't want to miss this. I can. Mal can. Looks like everyone else can. Ooh. Check your speakers, Kayla. All right, let's do this because we got to get going. This one is called What Did Christ Die For? Jesus didn't die for the law. He came to fulfill it, but he died for the outlaws. He didn't die for rules. He died for rule breakers. He didn't die for religion. He died for a relationship. He didn't die for the best, the smartest, or the wisest. He died for the broken, the sickest, and the wandering. He didn't die for the pious, the pompous, or the peerless. He died for the prostitutes, poverty, and powerlessness. He didn't die for fame, credit, or Pharisees. He died for fools, cripples, and fishermen. He didn't die for spectacle. He died for sin. He didn't die for an institution. He died for a revolution. Jesus didn't die with a plea. Jesus died with a prayer. He didn't die for perfection. He died because he was. He didn't die to give us all the answers. He died because he was the answer. Jesus didn't die for the righteous. He died for the wicked to make them right. He didn't die so that we could all feel better about ourselves. He died so that we could become the best version of ourselves. He didn't die for a list of things we could not do. He died so that we could do more of the things that actually matter. Jesus didn't die because he was condemned. He died because he chose to, because he chose us, because he loved us. And he didn't die to stay dead. He died to rise again and live. Jesus didn't die for nothing. He died for everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all. I promise to post this as soon as I possibly can. Check out the vlog tomorrow. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you're crazy. And yeah, let me know whenever I post this. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more spoken words. I mean, more of these live streams. Kayla, I'm so sorry. Kayla couldn't hear that last one. Kayla, check. I'm going to post this to YouTube, so you're going to be able to hear it then. I love you all. Keep being awesome. Y'all are the best. Sweet Bear, you have anything you want to say? We got 20 more seconds.
Thanks, guys. Love ya.
She says, thanks, guys. Love ya. Really, I can't thank you enough for the support you've given me. And I really appreciate every single one of you. I can't convey it as that much, but I want to. I love you all. Keep being awesome. Bye, ya. Streetcast.